Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Chelsea Cohen from So Stoked, Amazon inventory management software for Amazon sellers. Chelsea, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to. Thanks.
Let's go back in time just a little bit. How did you get into the business in the first place?
So I got into selling on Amazon through a course called The Amazing Selling Machine in 2014. And that's how I started my e-commerce journey.
Why did you take a course on how to sell on Amazon?
I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to kind of break the shackles of working for the man.
What was the first product you ever sold? Do you remember?
Yeah, is a kitchen product. You might recall there's a product called Spiralizer. You take a cucumber and you...
I remember the infomercial.
Yep.
So that you sold that.
Yeah, so there was no patent in the US for a spiralizer. So you could, the course teaches sourcing from China. And so that was the item that we ended up sourcing from China, made our own version of the spiralizer.
Awesome. And how did that go?
It went really well. It actually took off right away. We were able to quit our jobs, and we haven't really looked back since. We've been selling and then just stumbled into a problem that we found we could solve for Amazon sellers, and that's how we got into the Amazon seller software space after that.
So what was the problem that obviously you've grown multiple successful Amazon brands. What was the problem that you encountered?
So inventory management, and really inventory management as it has to do with profitability, profit margins, how it impacts your revenue. Those were really the problems that we had, and we were looking for ways to track our inventory, to know when to reorder, how much to reorder, without it basically becoming another full-time job.
And at what point during your frustration did you say, I'm sure you looked for solutions and couldn't find one that did what you wanted. At what point did you say, we're going to bite the bullet and hire some software developers and build what we want?
I think that it was a couple of months of asking around and, testing out software, and the masterminds that I was a part of, we kept getting the same answers, which was, we've tried everything, nothing works right. We've gone back to spreadsheets. And being an entrepreneur, you have to question, well, if a spreadsheet can do it, a software should be able to do it better. So what is the disconnect? And that kind of started it all. And, a couple of weeks later, I ended up meeting my business partner, who kind of came ready-made with his own development team. And we started from there.
How long did it take before you had a functional, viable product that was working?
We started 2018. April of 2018 was when we started building, and then we launched 2019. But when we launched about 25 sellers, got a bunch of feedback, and by the end of 2019, we had ripped out the entire forecasting algorithm and built it back from scratch. And so that was the point at which we really had something viable. A lot of sellers started talking about us, and a couple of months after that, COVID happened, and the conversation that no one wanted to have, which was inventory, because it was a boring subject. All of a sudden, supply chain was insane, and everyone wanted to know what to do.
How does your software help them with that?
Yeah, so takes information from Amazon's API and is able to use that information to calculate, to stay within a specific range in terms of how much inventory you have at Amazon. Looks at the sales history, looks at, and it also is very customizable. That was a huge difference. You had software that people didn't like it because it was a black box. They didn't know what the algorithm was that was presenting the magic number. And so this one had, the difference was that it was transparent and it was very customizable to not just each individual seller, but on a product basis. So if they had products that were seasonal and then other products that were not, they were able to customize based on that.
At what point did you realize you were onto something that could serve the enormous community of, millions of Amazon sellers?
Mm-hmm. I think to some extent, I knew that this was a problem that wasn't being solved, but I think it was the beginning of 2020 that we realized that we had something big. And one of the elements was inside of the Amazon space, thought leadership is big. There's there's probably in many industries, you get the same thing where there's specific people who a lot of people gravitate to who train, and there was no one talking about inventory. There was a lot of guys talking about marketing, but the industry finally was growing up into realizing that they needed to know more about inventory. And I was basically the one there who was ready to talk about it.
And how did you market the software?
Really, it was, we did some Facebook ads, but I had already built a presence in the community and I had built relationships with others in the community. So we did a lot of, real grassroots, working with different Amazon communities who had their own leadership. And you have this shorthand in that if a person has gone through that journey with you and taught you how to build a business, like some of these guys are, they have their own courses, they have their own training programs, their own communities. It's a lot easier for people to trust their word. They don't have to do as much research. They have the borrowed trust. So we basically built through earned media and through borrowing audiences, essentially.
What have been some of your biggest challenges along the way?
I would say scalability, being able to build the software in such a way that it was scalable. We were building so fast that at a certain point we had to kind of step back and say, okay, how do we build this more efficiently? So there's been kind of iterations of building the software, rebuilding the software in more efficient ways to be able to handle at scale without, it breaking, without it slowing down, that sort of thing.
How has the rapid growth in AI affected your business?
It hasn't had a huge impact. It helps us to be more efficient internally. As far as the data, it's not very trustworthy when it comes to math, surprisingly. That's something that I have seen. You can feed it a formula and it can tell you what the formula is saying. I say, okay, here's this formula, break it down. Amazon has a lot of fees. So I can feed it a formula and say, what is Amazon trying to say? How do they calculate their fees based on this fee policy? And it can give me the entire breakdown, but then at the end, the simple math to give the answer, it actually gets wrong. and I've used plugins, I've upgraded, Chat GPT-4, all of that, but it's one of those things where you can't wholly trust that side of things. And it also has not been able to do math over a timeline. Like it can give you on this date, it's going to be this, but it can't, multiply on a regular basis, days at a time, throughout, let's say, predicting an entire year in advance, for example.
What problems are Amazon sellers still challenged by?
So I think it's a matter of profitability. That's a huge conversation this year. And Amazon fees have a lot to do with that. Storage fees have become a huge problem. When you look at the progression, we used to only be charged a specific, you have regular monthly storage, and then you'd have what's called long-term storage. If you had inventory sitting at Amazon for 1 year, then you would get a different fee, a higher fee. Now they go back to, if you have it in for 6 months, you're being charged a fee, and that fee every 30 days is increasing. So people who had inventory in stock and stuck there, it has become really expensive, and more expensive to remove that, more expensive to store it. And they've completely changed the structure of how they charge a product for fulfilling and delivering to a customer. So just the entire fee structure has been a real problem.
How do you stay on top of all those changes?
I think that for sellers, it's understanding what is avoidable, what's an avoidable fee. Can I, create a strategy around knowing what my fees are upcoming. For example, we had a client who came in and we do an inventory profit audit, and we built functionality to be able to predict what the fees are going to be for this next month, for the next year. And they found that there was one single product that they were about to be charged $14,000 on.
Wow.
And they did the math, and they found if we remove this, it's going to cost us $7,000, but we'll save an additional $7,000. So it made sense for them, but they weren't aware that this was about to hit their account. And so it's having the visibility into understanding the fee side of your business, and then creating plans for, how to address that, whether it's doing a sale where you can sell through your inventory before the fee hits, or removing it, whatever it is, having the understanding of how fees policy works so that you can either avoid it or you can do other things to offset those fees.
Are you still selling products on Amazon yourself?
Yes, I'm not focused on, we haven't launched products. We still sell our catalog, but my biggest focus is on, the inventory side of the business.
What's the favorite thing you've ever sold on Amazon?
It would probably be, our kitchen product. It was really fun to build out healthy, ebooks, healthy kitchen and cooking ebooks. So that's always been a passion of mine, is being able to, I really like to cook. So it's that's been my interest, probably my favorite thing.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Really helping entrepreneurs. I always felt that, selling on Amazon would only get me so far. I have a much greater impact if I'm able to help people to be more profitable, be able to take a business or a product that maybe wasn't profitable and help to make it profitable, or help to, streamline their business in such a way that they keep more of the money that they make, so that they can actually fulfill those goals that they have.
For our Amazon sellers who are watching, where is the best place for them to go to learn more about you and the software?
Yeah, so stock.com /connect. So you would find me on there and let's see a demo. We also have free tools. So for Amazon sellers who are looking to find ways to save money on what they're currently doing in their business, they can go check those out too.
Awesome. I apologize. The correct name is sostocked.com/connect. This has been Seth Greene with Chelsea Cohen. Chelsea, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some with us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.